Hey there, comic friends, I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is
Monster Comic Reviews.
That's right, and this is some random week somewhere between January and December, that mystery week that's in there, because I didn't know when my comics came out and it was kind of confusing, so I just slapped some together and said, hey, we're going to review these. So here we go.
Okay, first up is All-Star Western, Jonah Hex, issue 15.
This kind of, it's got some of the Black Diamond stuff in it supposedly, because Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde needs it to make maintain his super serum thing that he's using that makes him the freak. We see Dr. Arkham under the influence of a drop of the stuff, and he's kind of a crazy pervert. I mean,
yeah,
who's pretty pathetic. You know,
he's a pathetic crazy.
He's supposed to be all crazy and psycho and vicious and dangerous, and of course he's still a skinny noodle that can't hurt anybody. So he's pretty pathetic.
Yeah,
as far as the whole fighting thing goes. So that was kind of that's kind of funny. Hex gets really screwed up in this. Like, seriously broken up, but he's dragging himself around. Oh, I gotta get that guy anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Being hard-boiled like Hex is. I actually kind of had fun with this one as far as the main story goes. I looked at the pretty pictures of the backup story and didn't read a single part of Tomahawk.
Awesome.
Couldn't take it. Couldn't take it.
No.
What did you think of Jonah Hex?
I liked it. I love the fact that the Black Diamond pretty much everybody uses to keep their alter evil or ego going.
Right.
Because that's what he's using it for, is he drinks the stuff mixed with the Black Diamond, makes him permanent hide.
Right, right.
That's great.
Makes it all kinds of crazy and whatnot.
No, I was like, look, Tomahawk, maybe I should read this one.
Oh,
no.
Can't take it, yeah. Yeah, it was too tough.
No.
Too tough to read.
So,
what would we rate?
I'd give it a solid 3.
Yep, I would too. It was enjoyable. Okay, next we're going to talk about Hypernaturals number 7.
So this is pretty interesting because we get some backstory on Sublime. We find out why he's all gaseous and stuff, and why he's all deep-eyed creepiness, because he was A, put back together wrong after he got hit by an exploding star.
Right.
And B,
so
he's constantly phasing in and out of different realities.
No, he's not.
Yeah, they said that in there.
No, I don't think it's him. I think it's that guy's name starts with a K.
Oh, is
Polish sounding name guy. I think he's the guy that's screwed up, that's kind of phasing all over the place. And it's turned him into some sort of uber god and whatnot. Sublime just was playing the odds, was Mr. Scientist, and he kind of played the odds wrong and got
him and his
discombobulated, right? And when he got put back together again, he kind of got the whole exploding star thing stuck inside of him in the process of it, which makes him pretty cool. He was this really great, out for science, out for be helpful, Mr. Great Guy and everything, and then ultimately now he hates the giant artificial intelligence that's running.
Because as far as he's concerned, it screwed him and his lover by giving him the false sense of security and then not being able to put them back together.
Right.
And even when they put him back together, not right.
And he continues to attempt to show examples of how the AI is trying to keep them. But he is proposing that the AI has actually created the anti-Sublime solely for the purpose of creating a threat that the computer can now save humankind from. If there isn't a threat for humankind, humankind might decide that they don't need this AI to protect them. So the AI has created this whole threat and whatnot. And he continues to show ways that that's happening and whatnot. Now, whether or not it's really true, or it's all just a giant Sublime plot because he's a level 12 intellect, which is
we found out that he's higher than level 12. That he was level 12 when he was a normal guy, and now he is surpassing beyond.
Yeah. So, excellent story. Yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy reading Hypernaturals from Boom Studio. What would we give this?
I think I'd give it a solid 4.
Same here. Give it definitely a solid 4. Gave us a great background into Sublime. We now have more knowledge of that, and of course, it's creating this bigger issue plot that's going on as to whether or not the thing that's running all the world is somehow potentially evil. Or is creating evil things solely for the purpose of going, look, you need me.
I'm good.
Right. What are we talking about next?
Next up is I, Vampire, issue 15.
With the strange Gilliam March cover.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, well, it's Gilliam March, so it's always got the kind of weird body angles and whatnot, and that's just Gilliam March. Anyway, story in this, I'm still enjoying, Bennett and Tig and the mage, I can't remember her name. They show up at the Van Helsings. They're going to screw the Van Helsings because they want
I love the fact, okay, so are you the new number one? No. I'm the number two. Number one's currently indisposed of. And then number one shows up.
He's like a giant-sized Frankenstein. Who's already been torn apart 2 or 3 times by...
12
times
actually.
He's been ripped up by Bennett, so now he's back again.
Again.
You want to make it 13 with these kind of weird,
pupils
that are... Right. So he's like pounding on him with that big old brawl as they're trying to get to the real library where the real artifacts that...
Where...
The real nasty. Oh, they're shooting Bennett. It's like, he's like, okay, we're gonna stop now. It's like, okay, quit shooting. It's a waste of wood.
Yeah.
It's not a waste of bullet. It's a waste of wood.
Yeah.
And then of course we have the other story where they're trying to find where Bennett first was changed into a vampire.
And we get the confirmation that Kane is Bennett's sire, although he'd already kind of suspected that, knowing that he's the Demon's Lock, and the fact that he's like, oh, I've been around forever in the Zero issue, right?
Right.
And if I ever harm an innocent person, purify, blah, 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 again, I'll disappear. And then he bites Andrew and he disappears. So we're just like, wow. Yeah. So, it's a good thing he's not a vampire, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do now, because he's there. He's human, supposedly, or whatever. So it'll be curious to see what happens there. I'm really enjoying the story. Of course, we can all lament the fact that we all know now that, like, with issue 18, the thing's done. They pulled the plug on the series, which is ridiculous as it continues to get better and better as it goes along. Now, one of the things that was interesting is we were reading the book is that, of course, Andre Sorrentino isn't on artwork anymore. He's already working on the Green Arrow stuff he's going to be on. But this comic still had all the flavor. Now, some of the images weren't quite as sharp or quite as good as what his was. But obviously the colorist is a huge factor in this book, I think, because the coloring of it stayed the same, so it still had the same sort of mood to it. So that's cool. Obviously the colorist has that much influence on the feel of the book. So, but I'm still really digging it and whatnot. Yeah. To see what happens going forward here, how they're gonna. Obviously, the linchpin on how they're going to deal with Bennett is whatever has to do with where he was born at. If they can screw
Kane and whatnot, yeah.
So, what would we rate that book?
I'd give it a 4, I think. Like a weak 4, strong 3.
Yeah, I think so too. I give it a 4. Good stuff. What's next? Oh no, it's not you, it's me. I'm next. I'm next. It is Justice League Dark number 15. You cannot use magic here. I am going to eliminate you.
Oh crap. Okay, so first of all, oh crap. So they go to, like, wherever they go to, and it's super magically charged, and I'm going to assume that's because pretty much the last of magic seems to be there, and obviously nobody's using magic anymore. So so instead of everybody constantly drawing on magic energy, it's now all condensed and stuff because it has been used forever, which is why Zatanna is
getting high,
super powerful.
She's getting high on the magic. Yeah, look at this stuff, man! I can just woohoo! Yeah, Pulp and the Giants
doesn't go so well for her. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I totally saw what was coming with Deadman. Deadman's like, I'm alive.
The team gets
there. The team gets to where they are, which takes them a bit. And when they finally get there, right, Black Orchid goes bonkers, right?
She changes again.
She changes into like some gigantic plant thingy.
Swamp fish kind of thing.
What? Yeah. Right. Okay, Deadman's alive.
Right.
I don't know what's affecting Frankenstein, but Constantine.
I don't think anything's affecting Frankenstein.
Yeah, I think
that's the great thing about Frankenstein
is that he's just kind of immune to everything.
He is so inert that it's just like, okay, yeah. And of course,
Constantine can't lie.
Madame Xanadu.
Madame Xanadu reverts back to freaking her age.
She's getting old and ugly. And of course, Constantine,
can't lie. So that's bad, right? And Deadman's like, I'm alive now, right? He's like all alive, he pulls up his face, he's crying, and then he gets shot in the head.
Also being like, I'm alive!
Kaboom! Saw that one coming, but still. Yeah.
And of course, Tim and Zatanna have been pulled into the earth by something, oh no, and you find out at the very end, there's this large contingent of different type of fairy folk all going The hunter. The hunter. They're all excited because the hunter's there to free them or whatever.
I don't know.
Supposed to do.
But
I like the comic.
yeah,
I'm excited. This plot line is going to be pretty awesome, I think. And so far in this issue, Frankenstein works really well with the group. He's going to be the added permanent member, and looks like they're going to write him pretty well. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Artwork's great. What will we rate it?
I think I'd give it a solid 3.
I give it a solid 3 also. Looking forward to the next issue. Oh yeah, what are we talking about next?
Next up's The Phantom Stranger, where the cover is
Issue
4. by far the best thing about the book.
Yes. Are we Phantom Stranger club members? No. Is the dialogue better than it was the last 3 issues? Ethan doesn't think so. I do think it's better. The dialogue, people actually talk like real people in it.
His wife is the only normal person. You know what? His wife talks just fine, and he's okay, and I kind of felt like I needed to tell them to get a room at certain points in the story, which is okay, I guess. I don't know.
Now,
and then Constantine. Okay, so how he summons up
the Justice League Dark people suck.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I'm just totally gonna review this comic before you. Sorry about that.
Sure,
right.
help.
So Constantine summons up the Phantom Stranger. Right. Okay. I guess I could see Constantine doing that. He does it with sacrificial magic. Constantine doesn't like sacrificial magic. Constantine specifically states at points in Hellblazer that Constantine doesn't like sacrificial magic.
Back in
it's too messy.
In like issue number 23 or whatever. Yeah. Clear back, 20 years ago.
Issue 2. No, but, and like Frankenstein? What? Frankenstein talks all normal, right? And Phantom Stranger cuts his arm off. No.
He doesn't cut his arm off.
Okay.
He just detaches where it's sewed together at. So, I thought that was funny. But you're right. You're right. The characterization of the people from Justice League Dark, poor characterization. They don't seem the same. That's completely wrong in it. But I think for most of the comic, that the Phantom Stranger does speak in a more normal fashion. Even for the Phantom Stranger, I know he speaks a little high and mighty, but still, his dialogue is much better than it was before. Am I really excited about this comic? Still, no. I mean, I'm hanging on for a while longer because I want to see what they do with the
Spectre.
What they do with the Spectre, and I'm hoping that as the new scripter, DeMatteis gets more comfortable, that it will become better written as far as that goes. I don't necessarily think that Dan Didio has a bad idea.
No,
I
don't think he has a bad idea at all.
It's just we need to get, and actually, I don't even, like I said, I don't mind the dialogue and whatnot. Now my next goal is, let's get a new artist. Because between Ben Anderson and the 2 people doing the embellishment on it, Phil Tan and whoever the other person is, I don't care for the art. I don't care for the art. It looks sloppy. I don't know if it's between the pencils and the coloring or what it is. I just don't. I don't care for it. It doesn't excite me. The covers look awesome. The covers coming up look really cool. Going forward, well, they can see it behind you. It just needs a little more punch. Otherwise, this book's going to go down the tubes. I don't care if there are 3 of you or 2 of you in the Phantom Stranger Club.
Even if you have been,
it ain't gonna make it.
Dan Didio.
It ain't gonna make it. Plus the fact with Dan's name on it ain't gonna make it. I mean, look at his track record for books.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. So, anyway, what would we rate this book?
2.
I give it a 2 also. It still needs some help. Okay, next we're going to talk about Punisher Warzone number 3. The real Punisher book.
Yay!
What you saying?
Well, I do know that we need to pick up whatever Greg Rucka does now from now on. For, like, ever. That said, I really like this issue.
So it's Thor chasing after him this time.
Okay, so is Peter Parker's in this book, right? That's Peter Parker, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, just making sure.
Yes, it's Peter Parker. It has to be Peter Parker. You're right. Timeline-wise, this is kind of goofy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it has to be Peter Parker because he wouldn't be having the conversations the way he's having the conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
He wouldn't resort to having the Avengers help him. He'd go out and kick it himself because he's superior Spider-Man. Peter Octavius. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, this is Peter Parker. This is the real Peter Parker.
Yes, but I like his conversation with Black Widow. Yeah. How he's like, you let a mass murderer go, and she's like, and I saved 117 children from slavery, hunger, so on and so forth.
Child soldiering.
I saw the fact that that's what he chose to do. I also love the fact that the guy that Thor comes down and is like, hey, how about you just tell me where he attacked you last, right? He's like, right? And I love the fact that
Thor's
he actually
like,
thinks he can stall Thor long enough
Right.
for his guys to get the drop on Thor and take him out.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Are you dumb?
He's a god.
Exactly.
It wouldn't even cross my mind to even fire a shot at him. I'd just be like, oh, hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take a shot at Punisher, but there's no way. I'd take a shot at
would-
Thor and be
no,
like, forget
no.
it.
Yeah, we see Thor pound some people into dust. Here, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, I still wonder where Parshman gets his huge arsenal from, as he, like, shoots with Thor's with a freaking rocket launcher.
Right. Well, to get his attention, to make him chase him into the other bad guys and whatnot. He basically does the same thing here he did with Black Widow. He runs Thor into a bunch of bad guys and lets Thor do the dirty work.
Thor has, a little bit more, can do it a little bit faster.
Well, and Thor knows that's what he's doing, too.
Yeah.
Thor's like, oh, okay, I see, yeah. So they crack open some beer, or ale in this case maybe.
On, like, the top of some high place somewhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Have a few drinks, and
I
Thor
like that
basically just
conversation.
kind of tells him, hey, this is what's happening. You need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I know you got some honor, well, and then the conversation at the very end with Thor and Captain America about the fact Thor's like, look, he doesn't operate the same way we do, but the guy still has honor, and they're like, well, we're relying on that. So,
well, I love how to some degree, everybody, even though they're like, what he's doing is wrong, they're just kind of like, to some degree, they admire the Punisher.
right.
I mean, even though they would never carry out anything the way he's done it, and they are trying to capture him. On the other hand, they still...
If they were trying to capture him,
respect
if they were
for
trying
him.
to capture him, they had him captured. Thor punched him out.
Yeah, exactly.
They had him captured. So it's not just a matter of having him captured.
Well, yeah.
There's some, or is it's pretty obvious that the Punisher has his own game afoot that he's using the Avengers. The Avengers are going to come after him. He's going to use the Avengers to wipe out the people he's trying to eliminate, right? But obviously the Avengers have some agenda beyond helping Spider-Man catch it.
Yeah.
The rest of them have some of their goal. They have some sort of something up their sleeve, some sort of game they're playing at, and I'm really curious to see what it is. Greg Rucka's right. Before this whole thing started out, he said, "Hey, this isn't the book you think it's going to be." Yeah, and he's right.
It's not.
It's not really the Punisher versus the Avengers as far as it being a punch out, because that's retarded. Dumb. We know that. My only other beef with the thing is, of course, it has a great Chichetta cover, and of course it's not Chichetta inside of it. We continue to complain this, and the person who does the artwork inside is really not even servable in point.
You shamed the book.
Yeah, well, I don't mean the person did art. It does not work.
It doesn't work.
It's very clunky. The hammer shots, like when the hammer goes past,
it's weird.
and then comes flying back. It looks very
awkward.
It looks very unanimated. It looks like an object kind of sitting in space as opposed to flying and smacking people around and whatnot. So that was kind of a bummer and sad. But the story though, absolutely digging. It's just been a riot. So we read.
If the art was better, I'd give it a 5, but I'm gonna give it a 4.
That's where I'm at too. Hey, what's our last book?
Last up, we have Red She-Hulk, issue 61.
And of course, the last issue we ended with her uber hulking out, to where she looks more like a troll with black and red hair than she looks like a person.
She beats some people up.
She basically
she pulverizes Echelon.
All the super soldiers.
However, you say that, yeah, she pulverizes all of them, and the only reason why she doesn't pulverize the General 2 is because his armor manages to withstand him just long enough that he can push her into the gravity trap.
Right. So pick her up off the ground, then she has no leverage, and she's not super strong anymore. Fortunately for her, Machine Man is kind of more on her side now, after having seen the whole Earth computer thing.
He proceeds to hack his armor.
Right, and turn
him off.
And shoots Red She-Hulk off into the off into the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah, I have to go make sure that I didn't shoot her anywhere populated.
Right, so she can calm down, and she does slowly mellow after she kicks the daylights out of stuff and whatnot. And when she converts completely back down, they have this great conversation between her and Machine Man about why she's doing what she's doing. Machine Man kind of goes, "Look, this is my observation." Because she assumes that the reason he's there is to figure out how to tear her down, how to have the Avengers come and beat her. And she's like, and he's like, "No, that's not really the case. This is what I've observed. You seem like a good person. I've seen the world computer. I know there's something more than this. Come on, tell me the rest of the story so we know what's going on."
So we get the backstory, right? And because
which is awesome.
And because being a Hulk, Now she likes to be more endangered.
Right. When she Red Hulks up, not crazy Red Hulk, but just is the Red Hulk. She loses some of her inhibitions, and she has more ambition to do the things she really thinks she wants to do, like go and adventure. And
yeah. So she's adventuring through what, the Amazon?
I think
somewhere
no,
tropical.
it's New Guinea.
Oh, New Guinea. Okay. Searching for this hidden forest, which she finds, which has lots of carnivorous plants, right? So she proceeds to cut the carnivorous plants with her sword, which was always commented on. I'm like, you know, that's a cool sword that she has.
Ethan's favorite thing about her is her sword.
We find out what it's called.
But we haven't seen until now.
Yeah. We find out what it's called. It's called the big ass sword.
Yeah,
that's great.
Literally what she calls it.
I mean,
she calls it
it
the big
is
ass sword.
called the big. I like to call it my big ass sword.
Right.
That's great. That's awesome.
That's because that's what we called it.
Yeah, obviously we just influenced Veggie Hulk.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
But anyway, so we get this interesting backstory.
Right, you know, so she's searching around, she searches through this story, she takes down a gigantic alligator, and she makes it to this pyramid thingy, where she's like, oh, this must be something.
Right.
And then she finds a shield mark on it, and she's just like...
But it's ancient.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
ancient.
1,000 years old. She sure is.
And she finds a shield mark on it, and she's like, what? So she's like, well, you know, I'm sure there was some sort of super hidden way to open or whatever, but it was only about 30 tons, so I just pushed it open.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Just 30 tons. I mean...
And of course inside is this super science kind of thing.
This super science kind of thing, right? With Tesla's, I'm assuming Tesla, with Tesla's face talking to her after she inserts her big ass sword.
There's this globe, this perfect globe spinning around. It looks like a hologram almost, and it's got lights in different places and whatnot. And she kind of pokes out of her sword, kind of, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Because her sword's all glowy.
Right.
Her sword's all glowy, and it eats her sword.
Sucks her sword up.
And she's like, give me back my sword.
Then she gets pissed off because it won't give back her sword. But while it sucks her sword up, this Tesla image of Tesla's head spouts off some information and gives her some coordinates. So she figures, well, I want my damn sword back. So she hops her way back to where the coordinate was, which leads her to the little girl, the autistic little girl who can see the future, and that's what gives her where she's at.
So on and so forth.
That's pretty much the story of this one.
Of course, now I'm curious, how did she get her big ass sword?
Yeah, I don't know. We're never gonna see that. But still, fun stuff. I'm really enjoying this comic. I'm glad I picked it up, and I'm glad I stuck with it for the first 2 issues that were, you know, okay, but nothing too special. It's really turned into a pretty complex story and whatnot. To see what goes on next, and if we're going to have more conflict with the Avengers, because obviously she's still kind of wanted by them, and of course the military, because she just trashed the entire place. So it'll be really cool to see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I would give it a really strong 3.
I'd give it a strong 3 too.
Yeah. Good art, good story, lots of fun. Hey, that's it for this time.
Yep.
We'll see you next weekend.